So we're here at E3 2015 speaking with Adam Boyes. I'm Justin Haywald. Sony had an amazing press conference yesterday. How do you guys feel? Were you guys pumped? What was the crowd reaction like? How do you feel about Sony
Well, first
now?
of all, thank you, Justin. That's awesome. I feel really great. I mean, it's always tough. It's kind of like a big sporting event where you prepare all year long to put on a good show, and I think we go into it sort of humble, heads down, just trying to put on, try to hopefully excite the fans. And coming out of that, the reaction was super positive. So it's like, I think we brought a lot of things that people have been looking for many, many years. And I've seen a lot of the tweets sort of after the fact, and it seems like a lot of people are happy. So I'm very proud of what the team was able to put up as a show last night.
And I heard that one of the mantras that you guys had was no leaks. Was that true? Were you trying to keep this stuff under wraps?
Yeah.
And how long did you have to sit on things like Last Guardian?
That stuff. I mean, obviously, Shu and the Worldwide Studios team, they've been working on that game for a long time. And whenever people are like, oh, it's canceled, and then like when Scott Rhodey corrected them, actually, it's not canceled. And then it's like, so what's happening? It's like, well, yeah. It's very important to us, obviously. Like the integrity to me, there's so few surprises in life these days with the age of social media and stuff like that it's very hard. The meetings with Yu Suzuki when I flew over to Japan, we had to have them in secrecy, and we've been meeting at a lot of conferences, but we've done it off the strip in sort of secret, dark, dungy hotel rooms and stuff like that. But because it's really important to us. I mean, you want to surprise people, because if you just showed up and showed them much stuff they were expecting, it's not that exciting. So there was a very, very big focus on trying not to get anything out there for sure.
And of course, Yu Suzuki coming out. That Shenmue is just a beloved franchise.
Yeah.
Shenmue 3 being announced on the Sony stage is amazing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were surprised that it's not a Sony project, though.
Yeah.
So why didn't you guys just say, here's your $2 million?
Here's the thing, right? Shenmue is like a religion, right? And people around the world, it's very coveted. But at the same time, when things are coveted sort of like from an emotional perspective, it's sometimes hard to justify from a commercial perspective. So we could have spent, a year sort of getting consensus and trying to get the funds internally and convincing all the people to do the P&L and then start development, and then the game is announced 4 years later. Or we could say, hey, listen, let's help Yu Suzuki get out there and announce it, and then see if the support's there. And sure enough, I think we're over $2.5 million funded for the project. And of course, we're supporting it as well. So we're gonna put our horsepower behind it as well to make sure that it's a fantastic experience and a great game. And so being able to be a part of that to help him fulfill his dream, he was very emotional, rightly so, about it. And the fans hopefully are excited about it too. I am. I backed it right after. As soon as I was in my car afterwards, I was like, let's do this. And Kickstarter was back up.
So when you say Sony's supporting it, are you able to share details on how Sony's supporting it yet?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're providing some funding as well, but we never disclose sort of the business side of things. And then from a marketing perspective, of course, we're going to get behind it in a big way. So it's an important part of I think video game heritage and history, and so we want to make sure we support it and elevate as much as we can.
And two of the other, I think, really big Sony gets is continuing that Destiny. PlayStation 4 is the first place to get that.
Yeah.
But you also got Call of Duty, which, wow, that was a big get.
Yeah.
What went into acquiring the rights to be the first platform for the content for both those games?
Well, I think the first thing was obviously, we've had a great relationship with Activision around Destiny, and I'm a huge fan of that. And then they invited us down, to see the game, see Black Ops 3, and we fell in love instantly. Like as soon as I started playing, I'm like, oh, this feels incredible. Like the wall run, it's so smooth. It's almost like poetic. And so obviously, we just continued talking with our partners at Activision and worked something out. And now we've got, I think, a great benefit for all the gamers getting that, the first playable beta, which is a big deal, and then getting the map packs first for PlayStation fans. So I'm a huge fan. I think this one is transformative. I mean, and Mark Lamia up there on stage last night was awesome to see his passion and Vaughn's passion too. The multiplayer just plays. So I mean, it's one of the things that if we go down there and we have to play it, and if we love it and enjoy it, which we totally did, then that's when we were like, okay, this is something that we want to get behind.
So you guys had a ton of games on the show floor. I mean, it was just like basically back-to-back games.
Yeah.
But there were a couple games we didn't hear about. Do you think those are things we're going to hear about Gamescom? Is there anything you can tease that's going to be coming up that fans can look forward to?
Well, it's so funny. It's always the first question I get at the end of every press conference, like, what about this game? What about that game? We've talked, if you look at the last couple of years, and look at Gamescom shows of the past and E3s of the past and PlayStation Experience last year, there's so many games we talk about. And we just want to make sure that when we're showing the new updates to the games that there's something meaningful to show. And so we're always going to be, all the stuff that we've announced in the past, of course, unless something gets canceled, which we always tell people that it gets canceled, those things are still in development. So you're going to see more updates. Of course, Shu's teams around Worldwide Studios are working hard on their stuff. like The Witness we showed at our PlayStation 4 launch event, and Jonathan Blow and his team is still working on that. And when we do have builds like No Man's Sky last night, we try to show that stuff off. But there's a lot more stuff coming. We got a lot of shows coming up too, so we're going to continue to fill them chock-a-block and reduce the bad dad jokes that I tell on stage and just show as many games off as possible.
Are we going to be hearing more about Project Morpheus soon?
Yeah, I mean, the show floor right now, we have a ton of stuff on the stage. One of the challenges with VR in general is just like showing it off on a stage is always so difficult. So I think touching on it and then having people experience is really what the goal is. So we have more demo units here than we've ever had before. We have more games than we've ever had so that we're showing on it. We've got a lot of third-party content that's showing off for it. So there's a lot of great stuff. And of course, it's going to be something as we drive towards launch. We're going to be talking lots more about it. But to us, it's also about getting their heads in the actual set, because that's when you really understand VR. And so that's, I think, a big focus of us as a company.
So we're sitting here upstairs, but downstairs E3 is literally opening up
Yeah,
right now. So
minutes away.
I know you haven't
right
gotten
now.
a chance to try out stuff,
Yeah.
but did you check out Microsoft and Nintendo's press conference? Do you have any thoughts on?
I did.
on
No,
what
no,
they're
I
doing?
do. I'm just a huge gamer nerd. I love video games, and I got a lot of friends of mine in the industry that have worked for all those other companies, and it's very. I thought they're both solid conferences. I thought the publisher conferences were great. I was at Bethesda's. I mean, Doom looked amazing.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Fallout 4 is incredible. EA stuff, having Paley out there was really neat. Ubisoft. I mean, there's so much great content out there that it's just an awesome time for gamers. Because now I feel like we're in this. I was actually talking to Michael Gallagher, who runs the ESA, and it feels like we're back in a really big way, right? Because VR is here, that's a big story. The AR stuff and mixed reality stuff is really neat. And then video games in general, we have indie games that can look incredible, like No Man's Sky, that's so epic. And then we also have the big, huge AAA stuff that's also sort of feeding us and keeping us. I mean, I'm 200 hours at a desk, and I can't get enough. So yeah, I think there's a lot of great stuff, and I think the other guys are doing a great job too.
Yeah, I mean, before the consoles launched, there was a lot of talk about maybe this is the last console generation, but that's obviously not true. PlayStation is killing it.
Yeah, it's the fastest. I mean, it's the fastest selling console in the history of the world. I mean, that's crazy to me. Even saying that phrase sounds weird, but it's true. And I don't think any of us really predicted. I mean, we hoped. You kind of cross your fingers. But the fact that it's working out this way is great, and it means that there's more opportunities for people to make great games. And so our focus is like, how do we keep getting a great breadth of content out there and getting people to try new and different things?
Well, awesome. Thanks so much for taking the time to sit and talk
Absolutely.
with me. And I look forward to checking out some of the Sony games on the show floor later today.